Good morning, Spellman. It's Friday, March 27th, 2020, day 3. Today I've got an interview with senior Omar Seivwright.
We take a look at what an online school life is like for some of our pilots.
Hailey Mateo has sports.
And Christina has your weekend weather forecast. I'm Anna Richardson.
And I'm David Smalls. We're your pilots.
And this is your morning flight.
Are you ready to take flight?
Not gonna lie, guys. Kind of wish we were back in the studio right now.
Yeah, most definitely. This is not
It
working.
doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't feel right.
It's social distancing, though.
Yeah. Wash your hands, guys.
Yeah, definitely. Well, let's start right into the news. Father Luke joins us on a quarantine edition of his Flight of Faith.
This week, he speaks to us remotely and talks about our friendship with Jesus in the light of this week's gospel and the story of Lazarus.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Flight of Faith, my little segment here on the morning flight. I'm so proud of all the guys and girls on the team at CS1 for putting together this morning show, even though they're at home. And Mr. Drew just making sure that all this happens. It's just such a great sign of their dedication to the project of the morning flight. So happy to be able to come to you here from the South Bronx, from St. Anthony's Shelter for Renewal, where me and the other friars are serving during this quarantine. In the Flight of Faith, over the last couple of months, we've been coming to you from all kinds of exotic locations. We were in Assisi, Italy. We were in the Judean wilderness. We've been to Mount Tabor. We've been all over the place. But today, we come to you right here from St. Anthony's Shelter for Renewal. And at any point while we're filming this, one of the men could come in, one of the shelter guests could come in and ask for his phone or his medicine box or a cigarette or something. So if we get interrupted, that'll be a fun interruption. And that's kind of what I want to talk about, is that we're all in our homes, we're all around the people that that we know better than anyone else. And that can be hard, that can be challenging, that can be difficult. Relationships are hard, but it also can be a great blessing. Relationships can be a great blessing, right? We know that. We all long for great relationships. I'm just thinking about good friendships I've had over the years. One story that jumps to mind is, it was actually a friend of my family's. We broke down, we were driving back from South Jersey, back home to the Jersey Shore. We were about 2.5 hours from home, and our car broke down, 10 o'clock at night. Yeah, sure, there was a truck that was gonna come pick up the car, but what about the family? We couldn't all fit in the front of the tow truck. So my stepdad called a friend from back home. He drove down, 2 hours down, middle of the night, picked us up, drove us back. And I remember us just trying to thank him. He's like, no, you guys are friends. It's all good, it doesn't matter, it's fine. He was just this guy was so ready to just give of himself. It was amazing. When I think back, in the last 37 years of my life, it's those kinds of moments that really stand out, where people give of themselves, where they offer something of themselves without cost for the sake of someone else. Those are the things that really make us who we are. And in this Sunday's gospel, we're going to hear about Jesus' friendship with Mary, Martha, and Lazarus. This friendship that he had with them. A friendship that was emotional, that was emotionally involved. Jesus hears that Lazarus dies, and it says that he weeps. That he sheds tears for his friend. And that when he gets there, you can hear in the voice of the sisters that they're almost a little irritated that Jesus wasn't there, that he could have prevented Lazarus' death. We get like that with our friends, don't we? We get a little irritated, we get annoyed at times, even sometimes when it's because we know how good they are, and we wish they would have shared some of that goodness with us, just like with Martha and Mary and Jesus. And it's amazing because Jesus says that he allowed it to happen. He allowed Lazarus to die so that we could see the glory of God, that we could see something glorious happen. One of the guys wants to come in. Let's see what we can do. Ron, what's going on? What can we do for you?
Can I just get something to put my butt?
Sure, yeah. Which box are you on? Oh, number two, right?
Yes.
All right. Here we go. How was lunch?
Oh, very good.
It was good?
Nice.
Did you try the spicy noodles?
Oh, yes. It's
You-
getting better and better.
You do okay with spice?
You complete. Yes, I like spicy. Spicy is good for you. Hot peppers is also a nutrient in the hot pepper that cleans your
Cleans you out?
yeah like your cholesterol. Yeah, in the hot pepper.
Yeah.
So I like spicy.
Cool. All right, Ronald. Have a good afternoon, man.
Thank you.
Hey, Ronald.
Sam, where from?
What's today? 26th?
Zach, seriously, get out of here. I'm just kidding.
26th. Today is
Reggie's birthday.
Today's Reggie's birthday, really?
Yeah.
We need to get a cake.
I think we have one downstairs.
I apologize for that, especially for him.
All right, boys.
And here's Brother Patrick.
Which one here?
It's Brother Patrick!
Go ahead, go ahead.
No, Brother Patrick, come on in.
Oh, you're doing great. You're doing great.
All right. All right, so we had some little interruptions. That was fun. And that is exactly what happens in life, in relationships, is that interruptions happen, and it's in those moments that you can rub up against each other, and things can get real. So this is so interesting. Pope Francis, talking to young people last year at World Youth Day in Panama, he said this: "What keeps us united? Why are we united? What prompts us to encounter each other? The certainty of knowing that we have been loved with a profound love that we neither can nor want to keep quiet about. A love that challenges us to respond in the same way, with love." So, what's he saying? Why in your family life, right now, while you're stuck at home with your family and you can't go out and see your friends, you can't have that break of going to school, what keeps you united? The fact that you know that you've been loved. Yeah, sure, maybe, in profound ways by your family, maybe somewhat imperfectly by your family, but perfectly by God. And that, Pope Francis says, that prompts us, challenges us to love others with the same kind of love. When Jesus loved his friend Lazarus with that kind of love that gives, it rose him from the dead. It brought him to new life. And you, in your life, as you love one another in your family life during these days of quarantine, when you love with the same kind of love that Jesus loved you with, it will bring new life to your family. It will bring new life to the people in your life that you're living with in tight quarters during this time. That's what we hope for here at the shelter, and that's what we hope for you. God bless you guys, and hope to get back to Spellman to see you all really soon.
Well, it's been a very interesting 2 weeks since we last aired.
I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I actually missed school and my friends.
Yes, most definitely. It makes you wonder how others are handling this.
We asked our own Hailey Mateo to share with us what a day in the life of a pilot who is being taught remotely is like.
And we'd like to hear from you pilots. What are you doing at home? How's the learning process? Are you watching any movies or TV shows?
How are you keeping up with clubs and activities? Are you gaming? What is a day in your life like?
Send a video of yourself to video@cardinalspellman.org. The best video will have a feature here on the morning flight. Hailey is here remotely to join us with sports.
Hey pilots, I'm Hailey, your sports analyst, and today I'm here with one of your hosts, David Smalls. And we're here today to give a little background on David and talk about one of his most recent matches. So, Dave, you ready?
Yes, of course. I hope so.
I spoke to you last year when the show was called The Set, but I wanted to ask a few questions to bring new viewers up to date. So, how long have you been bowling?
I've been bowling since I was probably about three. 3 years
Wow.
old, I've been bowling. Yeah, it runs in my family. So I was definitely in there at a young age. I started bowling in a league around 9, 10 years old, and still to this day.
Wow. So,
Yeah.
I was going to say, when did you join the bowling team here at Spellman?
Well, I've joined the first year I came to Spellman, ninth grade. I was on the varsity team in
Okay.
the anchor position. So,
Wow, that's really cool.
yeah.
So, I know there are many people who say bowling is difficult. What do you say to that?
Well, I agree. Even with all the accomplishments you guys may hear, it's not that easy. It's tough both mentally and applying it onto the lane when you're actually like throwing the ball. I know a lot of amateurs like you guys when you go out, have a
Yeah.
lot of trouble. But yeah, it can be very difficult and it can be easy at sometimes.
Now, you recently competed in a statewide championship and you ranked very highly. Can you tell us about it?
Well, it was great. I ranked fifth in New York State. We bowled out in Long Island at Levittown Lanes. It was an amazing experience. It was a huge field of people, probably about 50 to 100 people who were there. And to even get to that level, it was an even more broad field of people. So to see that I was able to even place top five was amazing.
That's honestly like so amazing.
Yes.
So, we have two clips here that you sent us from your championship game. So, we're going to move on to the one you call your best one that you have there.
Yeah.
Um so what was the mindset in getting a strike like that in that play there? And is there a specific area you're trying to hit when getting a strike, or is it just the pins? Can you please share with us?
Oh, yes. So in this game, I believe it was the third game, and we bowled 5 games. This was the third game, and I knew this was my big game. I needed to have a big game in this game because my first 2 games weren't so well. So I knew I had to start off strong and stay cool, calm, and collective, of course. And yeah, playing the area is where what I do. So you look at the arrows, you line up on the dots that are on the board on the floor. Once you line up there, you line yourself up with the arrows, hit a certain target, and my whole key was to just get the ball out and let it snap back in. So like this whole bowler terms is like so well, it was a lot of oil on the outside and it
I
was
see.
very dry on the inside, which means there was less oil on the inside. So what I want to do is get the ball out to the oil so it can just slide a little longer, and then
Mm-hmm.
once it hits the dry to snap right into the pocket, which is the 2 pins right there.
Oh.
Yeah.
So this play honestly just amazes me because when I'm left with one pin, I can never hit it. So can you tell us what's your trick? Is
Yes,
it just to calm down, relax, focus, or
yeah,
are you hitting a specific point, like I said earlier?
not gonna lie, every time this pin comes up I get nervous. Not gonna lie, this is a righty's nightmare because it's all the way far in the right corner. It's always the hardest pin to hit. So what I do is I switch to my plastic ball because it slides. It doesn't really have a lot of reaction.
Mm-hmm.
So you go to that ball and I just place it right towards the outside and let it just glide straight to the pin. The goal is to always be cool and never so anxious to the point where you can throw it to the other side or throw it too far out to the right. So yeah, it's a lot to it.
So, as you finish your senior year at Spellman, what are you going to look back with most pride when it comes to your bowling career here?
Well, my most pride, I can say I definitely left a great reputation in this sport,
Of
with all
course.
the accomplishments I have done, such as being MVP during Block S about 3 consecutive years,
Yep.
uh, placing first in New York City, ranking number one in New York City, ranking number 5 in New York, of course, in the whole state, And lastly, of course, making history in Spellman bowling. Being the first to ever advance to this level, and that just amazes me to just know I can leave my mark on this school and in this
Of
sport.
course. So, have you committed to a college yet? Because I know a lot of people are talking about it, and
Yeah. Well,
we'll
I
see
I
that later
have
on.
yeah, we'll talk about that later on. I have committed, but not officially. But I know where I'm going.
What are your plans though for college? Any your majors? Will you gonna bowl there? Of course.
Well, yeah, of course I'm gonna bowl there. Major wise, I will be studying justice and public policy. On the career path to being a civil rights attorney as well as litigation, and later go into politics. Probably run for senate. Who knows? I may be the next president.
So, last question: would you say the whole state championship motivated you, or like boosted your confidence in any way?
It definitely did boost my confidence as well as motivated me because it was great to know that I was number one in the city and the only one to advance to the finals in the state's tournament from the city. So it definitely boosts my confidence and it motivated me because I know I came in at number 5, which means there are 4 more people ahead of me, and that means there's still work to be done. Until I'm that number 1, then work will not end, and still when I get there, work will continue.
Of course. Well, thank you, pilots, for watching, David and I. Thank you so much, David, for joining.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Tune in next week as I interview Mr. O'Donnell about the lacrosse program here at Spellman. Well, I'm Hailey Mateo, your sports analyst. Soar high, pilots.
I sat down with a good friend of mine, Senior Omar Seivwright. Omar is a very talented artist. So talented, he had the opportunity to have his artwork displayed in the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Unfortunately, due to the quarantine, that has been placed on hold. But I did have the chance to speak to him about his accomplishments. Let's take a look. Hello, Spellman. I'm here with Omar Seivwright, a senior here at Spellman who is known for his drawings. So, Omar, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
The question everyone wants to know is, were you always this great at sketching and drawing?
I think so. From a kid, I was always the artist. From in middle school, elementary school, I was known for drawing. In nursery, I remember my first drawing. It was a green crayon, stick figure, and I still remember from to this day.
Yeah, I still draw stick figures, so that's okay. So what inspired you to take part in the arts?
I would say, growing up watching cartoons and reading like comic books, I always was like interested in how they drew it, and I was interested in the character development. And now I'm just inspired by like musical artists like Tyler Creator and Lil Uzi, like their personality. They just create what they want, and I just follow that.
So would you say those are your big influencers
Right.
on your artist
Yeah.
in drawing? Okay, so what would you say is the meaning behind your work?
I don't really have a meaning behind my work. I just draw what I like. Whatever interests me, I just comes to my mind and I just go with it.
That's great. So you have recently been selected to have your artwork displayed in the Metropolitan Museum. How was this experience, and how did this even come about?
When I first found out that I was gonna have it displayed, I was like really shocked because I put in work into the art that's gonna be displayed. I put in real work, and when I found out it was like I was gonna have the opportunity, just ecstatic pretty much, and I just had to let the moment sink in.
Okay.
I'm still trying to get over it too.
Yeah, that's a great thing that you accomplished. That was
Thank you.
amazing. So lastly, what does your future hold for you and your work? What career are you going into with this?
Well, I want to go to art school. I want to study at Parsons, either illustration, fashion design, or like fine arts. I'm really interested in fashion design. I think like there's so much color, like the colors and the cloths. It just speaks to me.
Would you say your family and friends have impacted your artwork so far and your path on becoming this illustrator?
They definitely encourage me, and I'm grateful for that. And even my dad was an artist when he was a kid, so I think that kind of influenced me growing up too.
Okay, well, thank you for being here. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
World, you have seen a Picasso and a Da Vinci, but you have not seen an Omar Seivwright.
Man, I really miss the studio.
Yeah, me too. I miss my mug the most. No offense, Anna.
Christina Ricaldi has your weekend weather forecast. I'm hoping for some sunny weather after the chilling mornings this week.
Morning, pilots. Well, The weather hasn't made us feel like we should be outdoors this past week, being as cold as it was, and the weekend isn't looking any better. While the temperature will rise, we have a heavy band of clouds that will slowly move into the New York area and provide rain for the entire weekend. Your forecast for today is like rain continuing throughout the morning and possibly for today with the high of 54. Tomorrow, we've got showers starting in the late afternoon with the high of 52. The rain continues into Sunday with the high of 54. We get a break for a day or two with the clouds lingering, and then it's back to rain in the middle of the week. Stay dry and stay safe, pilots.
Thanks, Christina. That's all the time we have for this week, pilots.
Well, it's not the same. This was definitely fun.
On a better note, we even got an episode out.
Most definitely. Make sure you book your tickets for next week's morning flight.
Until then, I'm Anna Richardson.
And I'm David Smalls. Fly high, pilots.